is going on, my crazy Philadelphia 76er fanatics? Thanks for stopping back in for another daily pod with your daily Sixer information. And guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment because we're reading the comments every day. You guys leave a few. We're reading more than two. We read every single comment, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. But subscribe. But subscribe and subscribe. And speaking of the comments, guys, did you hear what Gershon Yabusele had to say on the latest podcast? Listen, guys, the truth about it is everybody's podcasting now. Every player feels empowered to say how they feel, but it doesn't make it true. Gershon went out there to say that would really change the team and what happened to be the downfall of the Philadelphia 76ers last season was the trades, in his opinion. He feels as though the team was right there, but the guys just weren't healthy and they were injured. He said the trades that Daryl Morey made put this team at a detriment and never gave them a chance to be successful. I just want everybody to let that sink in because that's what he said. That's not how I feel. That's what he said. He's going out there to say the trades that Daryl Morey put in place did not allow this team to be successful. I think the signings Daryl Morey made that offseason didn't allow this team to be successful. We can just look at the guys who he brought in and the guys who were, filtered out. Caleb Martin was traded. Caleb Martin may be a Celtic slayer and a Celtic killer, but on the Philadelphia 76ers, he was questionable. He was inconsistent, and he was unreliable. He was also asked to do some tasks that he's never been asked to do before in his career. Play some power forward, then switch around, play some shooting guard, then be on ball and try to facilitate as a point guard. He never really found his role, found his footing, and found his exact pinpoint position where he was going to excel on this team. There's no love lost for Caleb Martin. Another Martin, not related though, KJ Martin. KJ Martin, he kind of was a fan favorite. Young, explosive, agile, undersized, but played oversized. I like KJ Martin as an acquisition as a player on this team, but losing him, again, no love lost, no real holes. Getting rid of KJ Martin allowed guys like Justin Edwards to see the court, allowed guys like Ricky Council Jr. to see the court, allowed the Sixers to get a little more looks at some of their younger players who they felt had a better chance of developing in the scheme and in the system. No real love losing KJ Martin, and the guy I think every Sixer fan hated or just wasn't happy that he was here, Reggie Jackson. Oh, Reggie Jackson. He had a great career. He had a great ending to his career if he ended on with the Denver Nuggets. But coming to Philadelphia just left a sour taste in all Philadelphia 76ers fans' mouth because Reggie Jackson could not buy a bucket. Reggie Jackson could not get a bucket. And Reggie Jackson could not be counted on to score even when he was wide open. So losing Caleb Martin, KJ Martin, and Reggie Jackson, I don't think was a problem for this team. I think signing them was Gershon Yabusele. And of course, those are the guys he started training camp with, the guys that had the most faith in him, the guys that he started this journey, his second tenure, and stint into the NBA with. But at the end of the day, I don't think, based off the way those guys play or played, they had any reason to feel as though them being traded was disrespectful. I think the moves that Daryl Morey made with the trades, very impactful. He gave young guys an opportunity to showcase games we have never seen before. I'm talking about Quentin Grimes. Trading Caleb Martin for Quentin Grimes was a franchise organizational saving move. Even if Quentin Grimes decides not to sign, they have his bird rights, people. He literally can't go anywhere without the Sixers having some say-so, some footing in it. I mean, at least some way of a sign-and trade, or maybe Quentin Grimes comes back involuntarily. Either way, the Sixers have his bird rights. It is a franchise and organizational changing move. They also brought in Jared Butler. Who was a young point guard who maybe will play better in Phoenix, maybe has a lot left in the tank and a lot more NBA upside that we just didn't get to see because he didn't get a chance to go through training camp and understand the system and the plays, or maybe just get a consistent role on this team. But the trades that Daryl made, I think, were extremely beneficial to this team. And this is all coming from Gershon Yabusele, a one-year Sixer. His tenure with the Sixers, I enjoyed it. I thought he was great, especially throughout the month of December. Gershon Yabusele was a guy who at some points throughout this season shot over 40% from three. At some points throughout the season, he averaged 20 points per game. I'm talking about throughout the month of April. He averaged 20 points per game. A lot of usage. Team was tanking, but clearly he's got some offensive chops with him. The Sixers don't have him anymore. Maybe the trades put a sour mouth in it, or sour taste in his mouth. Maybe Daryl Morey not offering the money in the contract he felt like he deserved just allowed him not to trust the franchise and the front office the way you would want to if you're re-signing with any team. But that's all in the past, guys. How are you going to replace a guy like Gershon Yabusele? Because he brought a lot of impact. He brought a lot of force, tenacity, energy, and just passion. Just overall passion for a game. The guy who was thrown out of the NBA fought and clawed his way back, put on some phenomenal performances in the Olympics, dunking on LeBron, having that iconic moment, coming back into the NBA and playing above expectation, above the rim basketball, and some perimeter excellence he displayed. How do you replace all of that? And why would you not offer that guy a contract? Maybe you have a replacement in mind. Guys, Gershon Yabusele signed to the New York Knicks. One roster spot that leaves open. One guy they're not going to re-sign for New York, I'm assuming. Precious Achiuwa. Precious Achiuwa is a pretty good Gershon Yabusele replacement and maybe a better Gershon Yabusele. I mean, he's younger. He's a little more athletic. He has a little more vertical. He's not as strong, but he's quicker. Maybe he has a better chance of playing on the perimeter. And in terms of what Precious Achiuwa brings, that's experience in this system. That's understanding and definitely comfortability with head coach Nick Nurse. And that's also Precious Achiuwa, who was a thorn in a Joel Embiid side defensively. Precious Achiuwa was a pretty good defender in stints, in matchups, and on the court against Joel. If you replace Gershon Yabusele, which was all he was going to be was a seventh man, maybe your occasional starter, 22, 28 minutes per game at most. That's a maximum for Gershon Yabusele on the Sixer team if you're trying to be a championship squad. Guys, replacing him with a guy like Precious Achiuwa, who maybe you don't want to give the 28, 22 minutes per game, but a few power forward stints, a few minutes stretching the floor, playing with Joel. If Precious Achiuwa has a good chance and has experience knocking down those three-pointers, what he has done later in his career, if he can continue to show that consistency from the perimeter, I mean, he could really carve out a key role for this Philadelphia 76ers team, who is drastically undersized. I'm talking about drastically undersized because they couldn't rebound a ball last season, man. I'm talking offensive rebounds. Teams were feasting on them against the 76ers. And the defensive rebounds, they were tough to grab for a team that doesn't have a true power forward, for a team that doesn't have a healthy center. And this is all speaking on last season. Of course, if Andre Drummond is healthy, that's one way this Sixer team will improve in rebounding. Andre Drummond is arguably one of the greatest rebounders in NBA history. Arguably, Andre Drummond is one of the greatest rebounders in NBA history. How will this Sixer team improve on the rebounding? A healthy Andre Drummond is just one way to plug that hole. Easy, 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 because he's already on the squad. Another way to plug that rebounding hole, how about just effort? You had guys like Paul George last season in press conferences saying, I'm bored of playing defense. You make $55 million. You better be energized and excited to do anything that's asked you on this team to help us win. But you need guys who have energy and have effort for it. They got younger. That's one way you can improve rebounding. Rebounding is always an effort and a hustle stat. It's not necessarily all about smarts or skills. Basketball IQ comes into play. But hustle, energy, and effort, that's all rebounding is broken down into. So just getting younger, that's one key way this Sixer team can improve on the rebounding side. VJ Edgecombe, a power forward like Trenton Wofford, who can rebound and also push the break, which is one part of the Sixers game, one part of the Sixers offense that Tyrese Maxey has highlighted. He's extremely excited to explore. Extremely excited to explore. Or how about just getting Kelly Oubre a defined role on this team? Kelly Oubre went from a 20-point per game player in Charlotte to coming to the Sixers team last season, filling that small forward kind of role, knocking down shots, being the offensive hole, being energy, being effort, but also being consistent, reliable, and one of the best defenders on this Philadelphia 76ers team. That was a role Kelly Oubre played last season, or 2 seasons ago, and it kind of carried over into last season. But more importantly, Kelly's offensive expectation almost completely dissipated. I mean, you want Kelly Oubre to be a lob threat, to be a fast break initiator when he has a fast break. You want Kelly to be a fast break initiator, be an attacker against the rim, be forceful, be explosive, but you need Kelly to rebound. I think a clear rebounding role for Kelly Oubre is exactly what this Sixer team needs to carve out, because when Kelly Oubre was rebounding later in the season before he got injured, before the season ended, he was averaging about 7, 8. Kelly was comfortably getting like 10 rebounds a game when those games decided to matter, when the Sixers decided to play in those games. Kelly was a decent rebounder. And he's also, I guess, the closest thing the Sixers have to a true, reliable power forward. A guy who's going to play defense and not get bored, not complain about it. A guy who's not looking for too many offensive touches. If they come, they come. If they don't, I guess they won't. Kelly Oubre carving out a role as the key power forward, defensive, offensive initiator and rebounder, similar to an Aaron Gordon role for the Sixer team. I mean, that's one way this Sixer team has a clear way to improve. But outside of that, guys, you see the fourth slide, a free agent. Who should the Sixers sign to help improve their rebounding hopes? Their rebounding from last season was tragic. And a player they can sign who's out there on the free agent market. Guys, we're coming back to him. Thomas Bryant fills way too many holes for the Sixer team. That, think about those double center lineups that the Houston Rockets employed last season. Think about those double center lineups that definitely, the double big lineups, more importantly, that will definitely be implemented and played and relied upon to match up with teams like OKC, to match up with teams like Houston, to match up with teams even like Milwaukee now. You got Miles Turner. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo. Those double big lineups, those double big defensive lineups, you're going to need some double big lineups to match up with it. I don't want to see Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid play on the court at the same time. Defensively on the perimeter, they would get exploited, and all you need is explosive guards to just play off the catch and play off the cut and attack baseline, attack the rim, dribble, drive, and cut, dribble, drive, and pass. It'd be the easiest way to watch teams put a 140 on the Sixer team if you do Andre Drummond, Joel Embiid lineups. You want fresh legs, you want young legs, and you want willing perimeter defensive effort. I think Thomas Bryant, guys, fills way too many holes on this team to not be signed. And regardless of Quentin Grimes, sign Thomas Bryant. Don't let him find a home somewhere else. He fills way too many holes for this team just to be sitting out there in the open market. That could definitely help rebounding. That could definitely help with defense. And that can definitely help with any Joel absences, guys. Tune back in because we've got more, and there's more in store for more daily Sixer information. You gotta like, you gotta subscribe, but make sure you comment, guys, because we're reading your comments every day, and every day you get to decide to leave some, guys. We're reading more than a few. We read them all. Every comment, guys, we read them all. So like, subscribe, and comment. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow, guys, tomorrow.